20% of sales in China is online versus something like 8% in the US. That has led to a lot of innovative opportunities. So there are companies in China now which are specifically set up to help foreign companies come in and be able to sell their goods online, to be able to navigate that whole opportunity set. The companies that you would only find in China and not anywhere else. You've got the Chinese version, as I mentioned, of Tinder, etc. I mean, all those things are all kind of springing up. And then Indian companies, you have a big healthcare component there, mostly a generic pharma. But you've got an incredibly educated workforce in India that's able to kind of like go globally and bring that expertise back to India. So yeah, I mean, think about specialty finance companies. There are a lot of really interesting niche type of lenders, microfinance, leasing companies that I think you can only find in this region and not elsewhere.
And where do you focus on when you look at a company?
So, given that it's such an incredibly diverse opportunity set, you have to focus on something to help you, isolate certain opportunities. We always look at things through the lens of cash, so cash flow generation, cash flow returns, but we always keep an eye on valuations. Is everything okay?
Yeah.
So that is always, that is always how we look at companies and opportunities. So we tend to find companies that are almost like the structural compounders, but then we also like to find companies that are going through that kind of cyclical inflection. And it's because we look at both cash flow and returns that we can invest in both. And we're very comfortable doing that.
And what about valuations? Are they high or is it okay today?
Yeah, so I would say that generally emerging markets are not screamingly cheap as they were, call it 2 years ago. And I think especially one of our concerns towards the beginning of this year was that maybe markets have got a little bit overexcited because of the whole phase one trade deal. Clearly some of that has been moved out now because of coronavirus, so back to more reasonable valuations. But I think always it's really important not just to look at valuations in isolation. You need to look at what are you getting for that valuation. So that's how we always look at, for example, the valuation, but what are you getting for it? So what's the cash flow that you're able to actually access for that valuation? And so, for example, if you look at what we consider to be kind of high ROIC companies, particularly in Asia, they're actually looking incredibly cheap today versus their kind of global peers. So the top line valuation number may look high, but it's always important to see what am I actually getting for that valuation.
Okay, thank you very much for your time.
Okay, thank you very much.